Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajim. Bismillahir-Rahmanir-Rahim.
Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, this is the lecture for second year physics and I am your teacher Sidra Farooq. Today we will cover the short questions of chapter number 14, electromagnetic induction. For short question number 1, make list of similarities and differences between the motor effect and electromagnetic induction in moving wire. So what is the purpose of doing short questions separately is to revise the concept that is already being studied in the whole chapter. So we have already studied about the motor effect, the AC motor and electromagnetic induction. So it's basically it has another name known as dynamo effect. So you have to write down their similarities as well as their differences. So number 1, these are the differences. So what is the motor effect? It is used to convert the electrical energy into mechanical energy, whereas for the dynamo effect, the generator effect, we use the mechanical energy to produce electrical energy. Next thing is, when there is a motor effect, the input is some electric source, means we are providing the current to move that shaft to produce that electrical energy into mechanical energy. Similarly, for electromagnetic induction, the electrical output is used to operate some load. We will produce this electric current in the process of AC generator by moving the shaft with some mechanical source. So what is the principle of working for motor effect? Because the wire is moving, so this is the working principle of torque, that is NIBA cos of alpha. Whereas for AC generator, again it follows the concept of electromagnetic induction by Faraday's law. So E is equals to minus n delta phi upon delta t, where delta phi upon delta t is known as the rate of change of magnetic flux, and capital N is the number of loops of that material. Now these are the differences. Now what will be the similarities? There are two similarities, that both these phenomena are used for energy conversion from one form to another, and second one is both of them require some stronger magnetic field. Of AC generator as well as AC motor, these animated videos are given here for quick revision.
What is the whole phenomena working principle of this AC generator is that there is a stronger magnet placed, and in the field of that stronger magnet there is a rotation of coil or wire. So because of its rotation there is magnetic flux that is changing, and because of this magnetic flux there is induced EMF. So whenever there is changing flux, then there is a resulting current in that load resistance output for its output. So what are the main parts of this AC generator? That there is a coil and then two slip rings that are linking with that coil, also the carbon brushes that are connecting for the output load. Whereas for this AC motor, the concept is for rotor and stator, as stator is the outer part and the rotor is the internal part, which is moving under the influence of changing magnetic flux that is caused by the mutual effect of stator and rotor. So because of this movement that is given by the input of electrical current or electrical energy, this shaft is going to move and it is going to produce the mechanical energy. So the concept of AC motor is to convert electrical energy into mechanical energy.
Next, question number 2. For a simple motor, why must the back EMF always be smaller than the applied potential difference? So the main reason for this back EMF to be smaller is to maintain the rotation of armature coil. Okay, back EMF is always smaller than applied voltage because it depends upon the speed of the coil of motor. There are two factors. When motor is just started, back EMF is almost zero and it increases with the increase in speed. As back EMF opposes the oppose of the applied voltage, so the formula will be I is equals to V minus E upon R. So according to this formula, you can see that this back EMF is always less than the applied voltage, and negative sign is telling us about the opposite direction of this back EMF that produces an induced current in that motor effect. What factors limit the size of back EMF? So the induced EMF produced in armature of motor is given by the formula of E is equals to N omega A B sine omega T. Now you have to see this formula. In this formula there is capital N number of turns, omega is the angular frequency of rotation, basically its angular frequency, and angular velocity with which it is moving in the presence of the external magnetic field. A is the area of coil and B is the magnetic field that is applied. So the number of turns, area and magnetic field, they are constant for that specific generator. So induced EMF is basically depending upon the rotational speed of the motor with which it is moving. So it's basically depending upon omega. Next question, it is basically a proof and it is one of the most important concepts regarding the electromagnetic induction. Explain from E is equals to minus delta phi upon delta T why it is possible to say that E is equals to minus delta I upon delta T. So in this equation, this is basically the Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction, we know that, and this is the self induction. So also we have to write these formulas. Now I am writing this formula in terms of Ampere's law. Now why I am writing it like this? Because we have to calculate the magnetic field. So N square mu naught A into L. So A is the area of that coil, L is the length of that coil, mu naught is the permeability of free space, means how much magnetic lines of forces can be crowd around that conducting wire according to electromagnetism. Whenever there is a conducting current or conductor, so there is a magnetic field around that conductor. And for this N square, it is basically N means the number of turns per unit length. So basically you have to split this N in two types, or it is N mu naught I. So N mu naught I is basically capital B according to Ampere's law. So NAL. Now B into A, I am combining this A and B under these brackets. So we know that B into A is basically magnetic flux. Now by putting the value of this small n, it's capital N upon L, cancelling these L, we have left with the formula of N into delta phi upon delta T, as we know that delta phi is basically delta B into A. So for single loop, if N is equal to 1, then this is equal to N delta E is equals to delta phi upon delta T, where N is equals to 1. So the we are dealing with the magnitudes, so I am not applying any negative sign with it, but we know that because of these induced EMF, the direction will be reversed, so negative sign will be appeared for direction purposes only. So this is basically the figure of this self-induced EMF, in which in same coil there is induced EMF, and because of that induced EMF there is induced current in it, but in opposite direction in the same coil. thing, it is about eddy currents. Again, an important topic regarding chapter number 14, electromagnetic induction. So, also by drawing a suitable diagram, show the direction of eddy current and polarity produced in sheet as a result of magnetic field. So, basically, what are eddy currents? Eddy current are the circular currents that are produced in the metal, the surface of metal. So, the induced current in metal due to changing magnetic flow are called eddy currents. So, as you can see in this figure, the circular shape currents are known as eddy current. Now, how they are producing? According to Lenz's law, the induced current will always oppose the cause, means that changing flux. So, if the Lenz's law is opposing the cause that is produces it, so we are considering a metallic cylinder that is static in magnetic field. A force opposing the rotation will cause to produce the heating effect. So because of that force that is resulting the electrons of that conductor to move, it will cause the heating effect because they are moving in a circular shape. So how can we reduce the heating effect? The solid cylinder could be replaced by stack of coins with insulation layer between them that will avoid the eddy current, because these are the heating effects are the negative impacts or disadvantages of eddy current. It is question number 9. How magnetic brake works. So basically this is the animated video of this electromagnetic brake. What are you seeing in this figure? That there is a vertical shaft, or there is a rotation, then means there is a wheel that is rotating on a perpendicular shaft that is moving from this middle of this portion, and in this area we are passing the magnetic flow. So if the magnetic flow is passing perpendicular to the rotation of this wheel, so what will happen? Because of that magnetic flow or magnetic flux that is passing, there is circular currents, the eddy currents that are producing. So the eddy currents will produce in the opposite to the direction of rotation. So when they are opposite in the direction, so what will happen? They will produce the force to oppose the rotation of wheel. So basically they are applying the opposite force on this wheel so that it will slow down and then it will eventually stops. So electromagnetic braking means to apply brakes by using electronic and magnetic power. Next question is about transformer cores can be made from variety of materials. What are the main features that you would require of material to make a good transformer core? Suggest how well each of the following materials would perform: iron, soft iron, laminated soft iron, and aluminum. So before discussing this current question, I have given again the figure of transformer. So what is the purpose of transformer? Is to step up or step down the voltage, or to show the variation between voltage and current. So there are two main parts of this transformer. Number one is this core of transformer, and the other thing are these two coils or windings. Number one is known as the primary windings, the second one is known as the secondary windings. We can give the primary the input through this primary windings, and we can get the output from these secondary windings. As you can see that there is no direct behavior or no direct contact between these two windings, but they are connected through this core of transformer. So this core is of great importance to increase the current eventually at the output or to decrease it. So there are two main factors that are involved in this behavior for the transformer efficiency. Number one is eddy current. Eddy current, as we have already discussed, that these are the currents that are because of the constantly changing magnetic flux. So they are the circular currents that are produced in the solid materials. So for this core, it is normally it is a solid material, but it's not preferred to make it a solid conductor. So how can we reduce this effect, the heating effect which is caused by the eddy currents? By having laminated soft core, or the core of soft iron. So laminated means the sheet of soft irons, instead of using the whole log, it will reduce the eddy currents. Next thing is about hysteresis loss. Again, we have understood the concept of hysteresis loss previously, but again I am telling you about this concept, as it is one of the important concepts. Again, they are coming in the further chapters as well. So hysteresis loss means the energy lost during magnetization and demagnetization of core of transformer. Why magnetization and demagnetization? Because of these loops, when we are applying the input voltage towards these windings, then there is the direction of current that is reversing in each cycle. So this core of transformer is continuously magnetizing and demagnetizing because of the changing magnetic flux. So because of that changing magnetic flux, there is an induced EMF in that transformer that is represented by these arrows in this core, and because of that induced EMF, there is an induced current that is resulting or linking the secondary windings, and because of that induced current we get the output. So how can we reduce this hysteresis loss effect? By using a material with small hysteresis area. Means there is a width of that hysteresis area for different materials. For steel, as I have told you that steel is the permanent magnet. It behaves like a permanent magnet for a long time of magnetization. So it has a wide or thick area of hysteresis loop, whereas for soft iron, because it is continuously magnetizing and demagnetizing because of its ferromagnetic behavior, it has temporary magnetism, so it has small hysteresis loop area, so it is preferred to use the soft iron. Last question is, current is increasing in magnitude from A to B. What is the direction of induced current in this loop, if any, in the loop? So the question is basically that there is a straight conductor from left to right, and it has the direction of increasing current. There is a nearby loop in the field of this current. So in this loop, what will be the direction of induced current? And now, as we can see, or we know the concept of electromagnetism. What is electromagnetism? That whenever there is a current conductor, there is magnetic field around that conductor. So if there is a magnetic field around that conductor, according to right hand Fleming's rule, the direction of current is from left to right. So there is a perpendicular direction of magnetic field, as well as there is a perpendicular direction of force. So the direction of magnetic field will be in this position. It is a closed loop that I have shown with the help of this arrow, that is produced in this loop. So whenever there is a magnetic field around any conductor, what will happen? What will be the result of this changing magnetic field? The result is the induced EMF. So according to that induced EMF, there will be an induced current. So what is the direction of this induced current? If I am taking this smaller portion only, so it is behaving like a straight conductor. So if the smaller portion, it is having an induced current in it, so we know that the induced current always opposes the cause that produces it, means it has always the opposite direction of the applied current. So if the applied current is from left to right, the induced current is from right to left, means it has the arrow from right to left. So these are the arrow directions that are telling us about the direction of induced current that is in this loop. So it is from right to left, and according to this rotation we can say that this rotation is the clockwise rotation. So the direction of induced current is clockwise. This is all for today. I hope you understand about the concept of electromagnetic induction, a very important topic regarding second year physics. So in this short questions session we have tried to recall all the important concepts of this chapter. If you want more discussion, kindly contact me. Thank you so much. Allah Hafiz.